if we have to do that.
Well, it was already, recording? I don't know. It doesn't say to do that.
Hold on, we might be live, let me check.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, I wonder if that's the key is you have to put it
Oh,
in
we
record
are.
mode.
There we are.
That's
All right, there we go.
that's the secret function.
We love it. We love it. It's like live TV. Thank you very much. Hey there, everybody. Chief Meteorologist Jason Boyer here with you, and thank you for being on here as a subscriber to WLOS's YouTube page. We are definitely looking at a significant winter storm affecting the Carolinas, and that has not changed. We knew this was going to be very impactful. What has changed, though, is a little bit on the timing and certainly on some of the totals as we get better data. The higher resolution models that we tend to lean towards, or at least lean on more as the event closes in, they have grabbed onto the storm now for several runs and are indicating a little bit more snow and moisture. So we're going to talk all about that. And in the comments section, please let us know where you're watching from. And of course, if you have any questions so that we can keep going with this and have a better idea of what we need to answer. I got the live chat open here on my phone as well, so I'll be watching that as we go along. So anyway, thank you for being here this afternoon. A lot going on, and I want to lay out all those details for you. So weather warn days continue. Nothing changed there. Friday and Saturday, we're expecting a significant impact from snow and some ice, mostly snow here, it looks like, in the mountains. Dangerous travel will certainly be in the cards for many as the roads and the surface temperatures are cold enough, so this is all going to stick. This is likely going to add up pretty quickly into the afternoon. Scattered power outages cannot be ruled out. We certainly think there's going to be some of that. Obviously, it's very difficult to tell exactly where that's going to be the case, even if you know the snow amounts, because power grids and certainly lines, the way they are oriented are different in almost all locations. All right, where's our storm right now? This is Friday's storm, really hitting hard here along the I-40 corridor, Oklahoma City to Little Rock. Big snows happening there. In the state of Arkansas, they're looking at maybe upwards of 8 inches of snow in some places. We certainly have snow and ice into the northern end of Texas. This is the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. They are getting pounded pretty hard right now, too. All of this slides east. The storm itself is going to make a track closer to the Gulf and then scoot up north and east of the Carolinas into the weekend. But all of these are winter storm warnings, as you see here. All of that is winter storm warning territory in the pink for many across Tennessee and, of course, into the Ohio Valley and even into a lot of the Ozarks as well, included there in Missouri. So travel is going to be very difficult in a lot of places. All right, winter storm warnings here include everybody. I mean, you're not, if you can see me and hear me, you are included in a winter storm warning. All of the upstate, all of western North Carolina, back into northeast Georgia, over Tennessee, back into the Piedmont east. We're expecting significant ice and snow, depending on where you are. Of course, snow is going to be our biggest thing here in the mountains. Ice, snow-covered roads, reduced visibility. You should avoid travel. Friday night especially, but boy, things are going to go downhill quickly Friday afternoon too. So I would think about just staying put on Friday. All-wheel drive or four-wheel drive, you can get around, I think, in this situation. But if you just have front-wheel drive or obviously rear-wheel drive, those kinds of cars are not going to do well, all right? They're not going to do well at all. More room to brake, of course. You'll want that as the snow begins to fall, and you do not want to be caught outside, obviously, when this happens. When does it start? Earlier morning for our western counties here. This includes Haywood, Transylvania, Jackson, Swain, Macon, Graham, Clay, and also Cherokee County into northeast Georgia, into the Tennessee Valley by morning, and certainly into the far western upstate between 9 and 11 a.m. That's the thinking in that time frame. We're going to start to see the first flakes fly, and in some cases maybe the first sleet pellets if you're far enough south of those areas. Then we look for this to advance eastward rather quickly by 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. This is the zone we expect the first flakes to be falling. Madison County, Buncombe, Henderson, Greenville, Spartanburg, Lawrence, Polk, Rutherford, into McDowell, Yancey, Mitchell, and back over northeast Tennessee. So by 11 a.m. to 1 p.m., that window, that's when we expect things to really start going downhill quickly. And then everything shifts into the foothills and Piedmont into the early afternoon between 1 and 3 p.m. Just checking to see these chats here. Good. Okay. So asking about totals, we're going to get to that in just a second. Let's show you how this progresses again on the Futurecast. This is snow in blue, and the pink is ice, and the mix of sleet and freezing rain and snow is going to be in the purple. Look at Atlanta right here on the edge by 9 a.m. already snowing hard in northern Georgia by daybreak, I think, in a lot of cases. So the Atlanta metro area is going to shut down quickly. Gridlock is expected there, obviously. Nashville will already have snow on the ground, several inches maybe by 9 a.m. Friday. Here it starts to add up a little bit, starting just in our western zones and then expanding quickly by lunchtime into 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Notice how far this is now spread east of I-26 into the foothills and approaching Charlotte, down through the upstate. It looks like you're going to get a lot of snow initially here in the upstate, but then the temperatures should warm up, and you'll see that reflected here as the purple starts to creep back closer to I-85. But by 5 o'clock in the afternoon, still snowing over the mountains. It still looks like just snow here. Same for Greenville and Spartanburg. A lot of snow still going on, and east into Charlotte. Then we go into the late evening, and it starts to wrap up pretty quickly. So by 11 o'clock Friday evening, most of the snow has added up. All right, this storm is winding down already for the Western Carolinas, but it goes on if you go east. Obviously, Charlotte, Greensboro, Raleigh, and to the coast, they're going to have problems still going on late night into Friday. But we have most of the snow and sleet wrapping up by 11 p.m. on Friday. And then we go into Saturday. Notice still some snow into the morning on the Tennessee state line there. That's going to be those counties that typically get the northwest flow. That's going to be in the mountains, Madison, Yancey, Mitchell, and Haywood and Swain, probably getting some additional light snowfall accumulations. But most of us will start to see sunshine into the afternoon Saturday, and we'll begin to melt things slowly but surely. All right, look at the new totals. This is a new map. Potential snowfall through Friday, 3 to 6 inches in the dark blue. That's all of the Tennessee Valley back into Chattanooga, most of our southern mountain valleys. You see how there's a bubble right here, this kind of bubble of change in colors. We think 3 to 6, Franklin, Otto, Bryson City, Cullowhee, Silva. But you get into the high elevations here, southern Jackson, southeastern Macon County, into western Transylvania, over the Balsams, and into northern Haywood. This is going to be a 6 to 8 inch swath in those areas, and that extends down into Graham County too. So if you're watching from Graham, Stokoe, Robbinsville, Fontana, the lake area, that's probably 6 to 8. Then the high elevations over the Smokies are 8 to 12 inches. I think that's pretty easily done in those places, as most of the moisture is wrung out south and west. As the system comes over the lower elevations in most of western North Carolina, we're thinking 3 to 6 is going to be common in Asheville and Hendersonville, around Brevard, and east into Marion and Bat Cave. Probably Saluda 3 to 6, Burnsville 3 to 6, and you get the idea. Anybody in those areas 3 to 6. The Black Mountains and Craggies, probably a 6 to 8 inch number up in that range. Then you get east, and it's going to be less moisture and more mixing potential, so 2 to 4 inches for north of 85 for much of the northern upstate, but there's that sliver of 3 to 6 in the mountains over the northern upstate for Anderson, I should say Oconee, Pickens, Greenville County. There's that 3 to 6 inch range. Then you get into the foothills east of Marion, so Columbus, Forest City, Burke County, Hickory, 2 to 4 inches, and then more mixing south of 85. So there's a lot going on. We definitely have, watching from Mars Hill, appreciate that, Bryant. Yes, yeah, finally drying out there, he says. So yeah, finally drying out a little bit up there in the Mars Hill area. So this is what we think. It's definitely going to be a very impactful storm for us, as you can see here, and this is going to cause major disruptions, obviously. We're talking school closings, and you want to stay with WLOS. We'll have those school closings for you on air and online, and businesses likely will close. The thinking is, if you want to try to get out ahead of the storm, how do you prepare first and foremost? At home, you better have a shovel. You better have some ice melt if you want to keep the driveways and sidewalks clear. We're going to see icing underneath the melting of some of the snow. At work, prepare to leave early on Friday. If you even want to go to work, or you have to, leaving early before the storm hits more into the afternoon is probably a good idea. Otherwise, you could get stuck. Obviously, many may not be able to even leave work early. So, unfortunately, if you have to be on the roads, we tell you to avoid travel Friday starting in the afternoon and evening. If you absolutely have to be out there, you definitely want to be prepared for very dangerous conditions, and the ability to get around is going to be compromised in a big way, all right? Because this snow is going to add up pretty quickly, and untreated roads are going to be completely snow covered and icy, all right? We don't have the equipment that the northern states do. So if you've just moved here from somewhere north that usually gets more snow, the Ohio area, the Pennsylvania area, New England, even the Great Lakes states, we don't have the equipment like those states because we don't often get these kinds of storms. So expect it to be very different, okay? You may not see a lot of the number of plows that you would north, and thus the travel will be pretty difficult. Yeah, so that's the idea. So there's our totals again. If you haven't been able to see them, here they are. We're going to post them online, of course, and have more information later on here starting in about 45 minutes on News 13. Hello from Virginia Beach. Thank you for joining in. I appreciate you guys. So we will continue to monitor the situation right now. If you just joined on here, we have added a little more snow to the equation because the models are indicating that there's going to be more moisture available. It is going to ring out as snow predominantly over the western Carolinas, and that is going to mean some bigger totals. Of course, there's always going to be some isolated case where there might be a higher number on these ends, or there might be a lower end number somewhere too. But the general range is higher elevations southwest 6 to 8, higher elevations north and east of Asheville 6 to 8, 3 to 6 is very common for the I-26 corridor and the French Broad River Valley and our southern mountain valleys, and then 8 to 12 over the Smokies, and 2 to 4 into the eastern foothills side of I-26 and down into the I-85 corridor of the Upstate, at least the north end of I-85, all right? Thank you, everybody, and please subscribe for more information. We'll have more updates right here on this YouTube channel and online, and we'll be on air in less than 45 minutes with another update. So we'll talk more about the timing and other impacts, plus what the forecast looks like even beyond this. How quickly will the snow melt is a big issue, I think. All right, thanks, everybody. Take care and be prepared.